Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimakung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 1, Section 5 of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
As.
Ah.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Author Conan Doyle. Chapter 1, Section 5. Their mouths. You see, remarked Holmes. Of the house. This marriage rather simplifies matters. We're pen now. Seen by Mr. Godfrey Norton. The eyes of his princess. Now the question is, well, most unlikely that she carries it about with her. It is cabinet size. Too large for easy concealment about a woman's dress. Is capable of having her waylaid and searched. Already been made. We may take it. Then, well, or her lawyer. There is that double possibility. Think neither. Women are naturally secretive. Secreting. Why should she hand it over to anyone else? Her own guardianship. Be brought to bear upon a businessman. Besides, resolved to use it within a few days. Lay her hands upon it. Be sure. She will not be able to. But I hear the rumble of wheels. It is her carriage. Avenue. Browney Lodge. As it pulled up, Corner dashed forward to open the door in the hope of earning a copper, but was elbowed away by another loafer. Attention. A fierce quarrel broke out, which was increased by the two guardsmen, who took sides with one of the loungers, and by the Mrs. Rinder, who was equally hot upon the other side. A blow was struck. In an instant the lady had stepped from her carriage, centre of a little knot of flushed and struggling men, each of them with their fists and sticks. The lady, but just as he reached her and dropped to the ground, with the blood running freely down his face. In the other, while a number of better dressed people, the scuffle was taking part in it, to attend to the injured man, Irene Adler, had hurried up the steps, her superb figure outlined against the lights of the hall. Straight. Is the poor gentleman match hurt? She asked. He is dead, cried several voices. No. No. There's life in it, shouted another. Said a woman. Hadn't been for him. They were again. And a rough one. Too. Well, he can't lie in the street. And surely, bring him into the sitting room. There is a comfortable sofa. This way. Out in the principal room. By the window. The lamps had been drawn, so that I could see Holmes as he lay up on the couch. The part he was playing. I was conspiring. Injured men. Back now from the part which he had entrusted to me. Heart. and took the smoke rocket from under my ulster. After all, we are not injuring her. Other. Holmes had sat up upon the couch. A man who was in need of air. Opened the window. The word was no sooner out of my mouth than the whole crowd of spectators would dry out an illigent lemon. Ostos. Window. I caught a glimpse of rushing figures. Face of Holmes from within assuring them that it was a false alarm. Through the shouting crowd I made my way to the corner of the street, and in 10 minutes was reduced to find my friend's arm in mine. To get away from the scene of uproar, lead towards the Edgware Road. You did it very nicely. Doctor, he remarked. Nothing could have been better. She showed me. Make a mystery, said he. Ah, fine. The matter was perfectly simple. You. Of course. Everyone in the street was an accomplice. And when the row broke out, the palm of my hand, I rushed forward, fell down, hand to my face, and became a piteous spectacle. And she was bound to have me in. What else could she do? And into her sitting room, which was the very room which I suspected. It lay between that and her bedroom, and I was determined to see which. They laid me on a couch, motioned for air, compelled to open the window. It was all important. Her house is on fire, thing which she values most. It is a perfectly overpowering impulse. I have more than once taken advantage of it. Substitution scandal was of use to me. There's this. A married woman grabs at her baby. Her jewel box. Nothing in the house more precious to her than what we are in quest of. She'd rush to secure it. The alarm of fire was admirably done. The smoke and shouting were enough to shake nerves of steel. Beautifully. White bulbul. She was there in an instant of it as she half drew it out. Was a false alarm. She replaced it. Glanced at the rocket. From the room. And I have not seen her since. I rose, and making my excuses, escaped from the house, attempted to secure a photograph at once. What the coachman had come in, and as he was watching me narrowly, it seemed safer to wait. Now, I asked, our quest is practically finished. Tomorrow, and with you, if you care to come with us, we'll be shown into the sitting room to wait for the lady. Probably that when she comes she may find neither us nor the photograph. 8 in the morning. She will not be up. Have a clear field. Besides, we must be prompt. May mean a complete change in her life and habits. Street and had stopped at the door. He, when someone passing, said, "Good night." The time. Ulster, who had hurried by. "I've heard that voice before," said Holmes. The dimly lit street. Anne. Aye. I slept at Baker Street that night. King of Bohemia rushed into the room. "You have really got it," he cried, grasping Sherlock Holmes by either shoulder and looking eagerly into his face. Then, "Come, ma, for Brerny Lodge." "Arian Edler is married," remarked Holmes. "Married? Your Majesty, all fear of future annoyance. If the lady loves her husband, she does not love your Majesty. If she does not love your Majesty, it is true. And it, well, my own station, moody silence, which was not broken until we drew up in Serpentine Avenue. Door of Brownie Lodge was open, and an elderly woman stood upon the steps. She watched us with a sardonic eye as we stepped from the Barfam. "Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I believe," said she. "I am Mr. Companion," looking at her with a questioning and rather startled gaze. "Indeed, Mistress told me that you were likely to call." "What?" Sherlock Holmes staggered back, white with chagrin and surprise. "And the papers?" asked the king hoarsely. "We shall see." He pushed past the servant and rushed into the drawing room. By the king and myself. The furniture was scattered about in every direction, with dismantled shelves and open drawers. Before her flight, Holmes rushed at the bell pull. Ta-da! And plunging in his hand. Better. The photograph was of Irene Adler herself in evening dress. Was superscribed to Sherlock Holmes. Friend tore it open, and we all three read it together. Dated at midnight of the preceding night, and ran in this way. "My dear Mr. Sherlock Holmes, thou really did it very well. You took me in completely, until after the alarm fire. I had not a suspicion. But then, when I found I had betrayed myself, I began to think. I had been warned against you months ago. I had been told that, if the king employed an agent, it would certainly be you. Address had been given me. That with this, reveal what you wanted to know. Even after I became suspicious, it hard to think evil of such a dear, kind old clergyman. But, you know, I have been trained as an actress myself. Is nothing new to me. Goose. I sent on the coachman to watch you. Ran upstairs, bought into my walking clothes, as I call them, just as you departed. Well, there, the celebrated Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Then I, rather imprudently, good night, and started for the temple to see my husband. We both thought the best resource was flight. Antagonist. So you will find the nest empty when you call tomorrow. To the photograph. Your client may rest in peace. Loved by a better man than he. Without hindrance from one whom he has cruelly wronged. Safeguard myself. Steps which he might take in the future, might care to possess, and I remain, dear Mr. Sherlock Holmes, truly yours, Irene Norton. What a woman, oh, of Bohemia. When we had all three read this episode, tell you how quick and resolute she was, and marvelling, from what I have seen of the lady, she seems, indeed, to be on a very different level to your Majesty, said Holmes coldly. On the contrary, my dear sir, cried the king, more successful. I know that her word is inviolate. To you, pray tell me in what way I can reward you. The palm of his hand, highly, said Holmes. The king stared at him in amazement. Irene's photograph, he cried. Certainly. I thank your Majesty. In the matter, he bowed and stretched out to him. He set off in my company for his chambers. That was how a great scandal threatened to affect the kingdom of Bohemia. How the best plans of Mr. Sherlock Holmes were beaten by a woman's wit. He used to make merry over the cleverness of women. Not heard him do it of late. And when he speaks of Irene Adler, or when he refers to her photograph, to be continued.